ahead.
Well, hello once again from Project Element. Once again, we're not working on a Element this time. We did Lawrence's oil change earlier. That was the last video we put out. We're working on a friend's 2002 Honda Accord. We're going to put new brakes and rotors on for her. I'm going to kind of show you how it's done. It's a relatively simple job. We didn't show you how to jack up the car and take off the tires. If you don't know how to jack up a car and take off tires, Google it. I'm sure there's a video somewhere, but if you don't know how to do that, I'm not sure you should work on your cars. One other quick thing, some of you might see every now and then in some of my videos, you see that I am not a mechanic. When I did work for this company, I was a maintenance man for the building. I was not a mechanic. I did a bunch of other things. I was the hazardous waste manager, things like that, but I was not a mechanic. But I have all these old t-shirts, so might as well ruin a t-shirt that I got for free than ruin a good one. All right. Let's get started here. Once you get the tire and everything off, all 4 bolts on here. This one here. This one underneath it here, right here. And then there's 2 that are on the actual caliper bracket. One back here. And then one down the bottom here. They are all 17 millimeter. Now this, another one of those wrenches that I got. I was telling you about, I got that set from Lowe's. This is the metric set. I have a like set. It's in this box I'm sitting on of American or SAE. So we're just going to take these off.
You're going the wrong way again.
Going the wrong way again. A little dyslexia happens every now and then to me.
And one thing just to note, which I have noticed with a lot of these calipers in the front of these Hondas, if they're replacement calipers, usually the bolts on the caliper that he's removing now will be 17 millimeter. But if it's the old caliper, I've noticed that they can be different sizes.
Yes.
They've been 14 millimeter before, I think, and a couple other smaller sizes. So that's just, it's maybe different for your vehicle depending on which calipers you have on your vehicle. So.
Oops. Well, that came off relatively easy.
And those were the caliper pins. And
set this up here out of the way.
you've got one up here and
one
down there.
Down
Right
there.
there. Yep, I can see from here, so you can go ahead and take them out. The ratcheting wrenches are nice because sometimes they can get places a little better than even a regular ratchet and socket can.
And as you see, I think it was, while the front pad looks good, the rear pad is gone, and you can see it. She's actually already broken off the squeal indicator. She said she was having noise, so it's pretty much gone. We have the new set. Just to show you what we got for new ones, we ordered them offline off Amazon. Maybe we'll put the links in for you, but we'll show you what they are. We didn't get the most expensive ones. Now these are the Wagner QS ZD465. That's for the front if you have the 4-cylinder version of this car. And we did get the rotors that are treated so they don't rust up and things. And these are, again, Wagner BD125257E or Echo. And all together, everything was less than $100, if I remember correctly. So relatively inexpensive job, not very expensive. So we'll show you what it takes to get the rest of this off now. She still has the screws in there, so let me see if I can find a number 3 screwdriver.
And I would say this is probably always the worst part of changing rotors. Are these Phillips head screws in the rotors. Sometimes they can be very stubborn.
Yes, one of the biggest problems is it's actually a special Japanese screwdriver that use them. Normally on our cars, we don't put them back in. I may have to get a special tool to get these out because these feel like they're pretty stuck. So
I have
we'll be back with you guys.
We'll be back here in just a minute. Here you go.
So my son went to get a number 3 bit. It's a PH3 on a 1/4 inch socket. Let's see if that will work. Like a charm. At least on the first one. Not so much on the second one. All right. There it goes. So
that's what I use every time I work on my brakes. I have this with a set of tools that my dad bought me for my birthday one year. So that little number 3 Phillips head that works with a ratchet actually works pretty well.
And whatever you do, if you try number 2, just try quickly. If it doesn't take it, do not use it. It will strip it out, and then you'll fight with them forever. And let me show you something else quick, guys. This set that I got for my son is just a Pittsburgh set. As we showed, we're not professionals. If you look at this set here, my father-in-law bought me this set my first year of marriage. I've been married 27 years. It's by a company called All Trade. I've never even heard of them before. I've been using this set for 27 years now. It is the only thing I've lost out of it is the 13 millimeter. Now, finally, after all the years, my 1/4 inch drive did break, so I replaced it with a Pittsburgh. And the only other thing it never came with, it came with 2 14 millimeters, but I never got a 16. So I have 2 of the 14s, never got a 16. Don't know why. It's just the way it's been from day one. Never did buy the 16. Never had a real use for it. Because I do have another 16 here that is a 3/8 drive, but I've never had the 16.5 drive. So you don't need some super special tools if you're just doing stuff at home. Let's see if we can get this rotor off now. Well, it might have been on there for a while. Might have to give it a little, as I call, love. See if we can't get it off. We are going to be replacing it, so it's not that big a deal. All right, guys, one thing I did not show when we started, which I should have shown, is if you got a little cheap bungee cord, actually that one's probably too cheap. Let me get a better one here. Now this is a really old bungee cord. I had this when I was in the service in the 80s. And just use it to hold this up out of the way. That's the proper way to do this. Don't try to, don't try to do like I was trying to do and take the lazy way out. Just go ahead and hook the bungee up, get it up out of the way. However you got to do it, just get it up out of the way and let the bungee hold it up out of your way while you're working on the car. And of course it doesn't want to come through. Not what I'm trying to do. So there we go. It's up out of the way. Now we're just gonna try to hit this. There we go. Came right off. As you see, these are not in terrible shape. They don't really have much grooves at all here. There is a little bit of grooving on the front here. So since we went ahead and bought them and they were only $100, we're gonna go ahead and replace them. Probably could have got away without replacing them. Really easy. Let me grab the new one. Now, if you can keep your hands off of the surface where the brakes are going to go, that's a plus.
Did you line up the screw holes?
What do you got to do that for?
I think you had it right the first time, actually.
Nope, I didn't. Hold on.
Yeah, you did. I messed you up. Josiah.
All right.
Go ahead and put those screws back in. And when you put the rim of your vehicle on, it will basically hold all of this tight, so you really don't need to tighten these screws very much at all. And it'll make it easier for you to get them out the next time you go ahead and pull your rotor off. They're really there just to kind of hold everything stable when you go to put your rim on, as you put it all back together, yeah.
And you can see someone before us has chewed them up a little bit by trying to use the wrong size. As I said, it's actually a special Japanese that's even deeper, has a deeper tip to it than the number 3, but the number 3 American will work. All right. We have new hardware here for these. They're really, really simple. You just push them in. They're actually made to hold your pads. That one I might have to bend a little bit to make it fit. Yeah, I'm sure I will on both of these. There we go, that one went. Let me see if I can make this one go. Putting this side on first. There it goes.
Climb back under the vehicle so you guys can see this part. I'll just go ahead and snug those up. And those are the 17mm bolts for the caliper bracket. Wanted to make sure it didn't go nowhere. Another thing that works great is if you have like an old wire hanger.
Yes.
You can just bend it into shape into a hook, have it pre-done, and you can just hook it right up there.
I have a C-clamp. I'll show
That
you what we
works
normally
great.
do to press back the piston on the caliper. So I just use a plain old C-clamp. What I normally like to do is take the old brake pad, set it in there. Lawrence, will you open up the reservoir? I normally open the reservoir so that we can watch and make sure it's not pushing fluid back too far, and also make sure it has a place to expand. And if you could actually see the reservoir, you would actually see the level going up. That's all the way in. When you put the new brake pads in, they just slide right into the openings. Make sure you put the one with the wear indicator on the rear of the car. It goes on the inside of the wheel. It's not always easy to do when you're not looking at what you're doing. There we go. Let me see something here. I've seen this happen before. No, they look the same. I've actually had them before where the new ones, they were a little too long.
Okay guys, so the problem was we figured it out. The little brackets here, the little metal brackets that are supposed to hold it in, it was not popped down all the way here on the bottom. And so I had to take a flathead screwdriver and get that to pop down before I could get the pad to slide in. Once I did that, the pad slid in nice and easy. So
now we're going to show you another thing that we're going to do. We're going to pop them back out. Something we should have done prior is we're actually going to take a little bit of this Molly brake lube. It actually comes in the brake packets, and we're just going to put a little bit. We're going to use this because we have it right on the end of each one, to help them slide. Okay, so there's that one. I'm going to do the same thing to the rear. Just a little bit on each side. See if I can do this now that Lawrence fixed it. There we go. Nice and easy. Now what else we're going to do is on the back side of each of those pads, we're going to take a little bit of this Molly and put it on the back side of these pads to keep them from sticking and to also help everything move. And you only want to put it on the metal plate that's there. You don't want to put it, make sure you do everything you can not to get any on the face of your rotor.
The caliper should slot right back over top the brake pads now. You can get everything lined up. And go ahead and put the caliper pins back in.
If your caliper pins had been stuck, you can clean them and re-grease them. These actually came out relatively easy, so we're not going to worry about that. Put them back in, and then just tighten them back up with the 17 millimeter. I don't know the torque specs on these. We can go look it up and get our torque wrench and do it. We'll decide what we're going to do, if we're going to go do that or if we're just going to hand tighten them and give them a little old man torque and leave them. All right, guys, we'll show you the other wheel in just a few moments.
And we're back, guys. We're gonna go ahead and do this other side. We explained the other side. This side is exactly the same as the other side. It's just a mirrored image of it, basically. So I'm just gonna go ahead and film this. Let me get it at a better angle. Okay guys, so we already showed you how to do the brakes on the passenger side. It is exactly the same on the driver's side, just a mirrored image. So we just went ahead and set up the camera and filmed and decided to speed it up.
All right, let me show you one more thing on these cars. You got to check sometimes because these dust covers will sometimes drag. So sometimes just give it a little spin, see if you hear that drag. If you do, you can literally just bend it back a little bit. If you have the old rotor on, it's better. Let's check the other side real quick. Yeah, no noise, nothing's dragging, everything sounds good. So that's pretty much it. Don't really need to show you how to put the tires back on or how to take it off the thing, off the stands and everything. Would tell you, make sure you check it if you got Harbor Freight jack stands. They just had a recall on them. Actually, the ones we have, I believe we have to take back for the recall. But just be careful. I think most of their tools are great, but just be careful. Make sure you check for recalls and things like that. Have a great day. Hit that like button and subscribe, and we appreciate you guys. Have a great day.
And as always, if you guys have any questions, concerns, or anything, just go ahead and leave it in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. So that pretty much wraps up the video, guys. As always, the parts used in this video will be linked in the description down below. If you guys have any questions or suggestions, you can leave them in the comments down below as well. And if you would, go ahead and give this video a like and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.